Hello, everyone. We're back with another episode of the Young Flesh podcast, and this is going to be the first one that's going to be released in the New Year's. So, naturally, we're going to talk about our New Year's resolutions. It could end up being a pretty short episode since Lorenzo isn't here to join us, and it's mainly just us talking about our New Year's resolution. So, yeah, we'll see how long it ends up being, but it'll be pretty interesting and something fun to talk about for sure. So, do you have any New Year's resolution that you've kind of had in mind going into 2022?
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a short episode.
You don't have many?
No, I haven't really given it a thought, honestly.
Do you usually
feel like-
do New Year's resolutions?
No,
No?
I think that's the thing. Like, I feel like because it's like the New Year's is a good excuse for people to really change things up,
Mm-hmm.
and then like really progress and really work on themselves, one way or another. But for me, the progression and I guess like the goals that I have, I guess like it like resembles New Year resolutions. It's not really like just for the New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
since it's like I feel like it's just like minor, like smaller goals like over the year,
Yeah.
right? Just about like anything, like school, academic wise, like career wise, like personal like things. So I think I don't know. I've never really had a New Year's resolution ever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really buy into it. I feel like it's good though because it gives people an excuse to like it motivates people, right?
Mhm.
It's a means of motivation, and that's really good. Um, no, like New Year's resolutions in general, love it. But one thing specific, man,
That's hard to
the
say.
gyms,
Yeah,
the gyms,
gym.
man. Oh my
Are
gosh.
they closed again in Ontario?
No, not here,
They
but
closed it
probably
here.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had it closed for like over a week now. Pretty much right when I got back.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's unfortunate. But yeah, no, I don't know. They're probably gonna close it here
Mhm.
sometime soon. Apparently, like we had like 10K plus cases
Yeah, no.
daily.
Numbers are
It's
pretty
crazy.
crazy, yeah. They don't really
Yeah,
talk too much about like the severity though. I don't think it's looking that bad overall, relatively speaking. Yeah.
yeah, no, I think the new strain is pretty chill.
hmm
Like overall, like the mortality rate's really low, but it just spreads like like wildfire, right?
hmm
More than the other ones, but I mean, at least mortality rate, like any like severe symptoms, anything, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like it's almost like the common flu,
hmm
but I mean, common flu is worse, um, in a way. But I feel like it's like the common cold,
Yeah.
right? Like it could get bad, but usually it's not. It's not the case.
Yeah, and obviously,
Hopefully.
even with the older strains, a lot of almost all of the actual really severe cases are because of, comorbidities is more talking about people who actually end up dying from it, but there's other symptoms, other diseases, underlying causes as well, right? It wasn't just the virus alone. And with this,
Yeah.
it's even less severe, more light, more chill, like you're talking about. So, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely interesting to see what they end up doing. Do they actually, close all the stuff and go into lockdown and whatnot just because there's a lot of cases? Or do they actually look at the severity and how things are and just try to manage the amount of people that hospitals could take care of and treat, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that, and also I was just gonna say all the new members that go to the gym
Oh,
to New Year's. Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, it's because that's a big one for a lot of people, right? So that would be pretty unfortunate.
Mm,
But
like,
evolutionarily speaking, I guess a common theory they have about viruses in general, and something you learn about even pretty early on when you're learning that area, that those topics, is when it comes to these viruses and how they change with evolution, if they depend on people and whatnot to uh, transmit, right? To spread, they can only, the whole idea of evolution is the mutations that happen that help someone survive ends up staying, because the ones that don't means the
they don't
species
spread.
die and they don't get to pass on their genes, right? So over for viruses that depend on people for them to spread and essentially live and exist, over time they should get more chill, they should get less severe, because that should help them spread more and thus
Mhm.
allow them to live more, right? If you kill your host, well, you're not going to spread. If your host go into isolation and hospitalization, less chance of you spreading, because you're cut off from the rest of the world and the rest of the community, and less interactions and all of that. So it makes sense,
Mhm.
logically speaking, right, for it to be more chill and for it to spread more easily.
Yeah, I think. Wait, so is the flu is virus, right? It's viral, or is it bacterial?
I'm pretty sure
It's
the
viral.
flu is viral.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the man. I was gonna say something about the flu, but then like, yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, no, I feel like it's just gonna become something like the flu, but less
Okay.
severe. It's pretty chill. Like at first, it was bad. It was bad, but now I think. Okay, no, my bad. I was just listening to the.
uh,
Yeah.
that's pretty
um.
funny.
Yeah, no, it should be pretty chill.
Hmm.
Hopefully things kind of get back to normal relatively soon. Hopefully this year. Yeah,
Hopefully,
I mean
one could only hope. Yeah.
we we've been hoping for the past
Yeah.
2 years.
For those people who
So
thought it's gonna be 2 months, pretty unfortunate
oh
for those with that expectation. But yeah,
yeah.
other thing, going back to what you're talking about with New Year's resolution, the main topic we're here to talk about is that yeah, it's great in all the for all the reasons you're talking about, the motivation and all that. But I feel like one of the biggest problem with it is a lot of people don't stick it out, and that's not really uh, a special case for New Year's resolutions. It's more just for people setting goals and people following through with what they want to do overall, right? A lot of people
Hmm.
have ideas and they start on projects, they try new things, and they don't commit, right? So just consistently showing up, putting in the work, and doing it is probably the hardest part. So as great as New Year's resolutions are, just another excuse for people to set goals for themselves and make these new decisions. It's important to look at all the problems that people generally have with goals, and especially since so many people are setting New Year's resolutions, it's kind of important to just point out that hey, people a lot oftentimes don't end up following through. They even statistically looking at gym memberships and looking at how busy places are and all these different things, you definitely see people. You definitely see a drop off rate over time, right? Like even 3 months through, the numbers gonna be much less. Just because some people stop and they just kind of not carrying out the New Year's resolution. And you also see a lot of
Hmm.
people 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row having the same New Year's resolution. They're talking about the same thing like over and over again because they didn't follow through the last year. And for some reason, they think the New Year's going to change, even though they're not making any changes themselves, right? So
Yeah.
as great as it is, there are these problems to New Year's resolution that people often faces, and these problems are the same ones that exist for goals in general.
Yeah, no, I think following through, staying consistent with it is the hardest part. for a lot of people. And I feel like that's not like that's a big issue. But I think what really causes it, it's the New Year's get people excited. And
Mm,
when you're excited, you don't think clearly of your goals. So you make too big of a goal. And maybe you started and you're like, oh man, like what progress have I made, right? Like why don't I just stop? So that later on like demotivates you, right? So it's a slippery slope, like New Year's resolutions are great, but if you don't thoroughly think it through and you just make, broken promises to yourself,
mm-hmm.
then it's broken to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like the dangers of it. And then that, later on, like next year, someone might be like, oh well, last year didn't work out, then this year I'll do a different one, right? Different goal. But they do it, as big, as last time, and they just can't follow through with it. And they're too concerned with the angle rather than like what, like like what they're doing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah, like like relating back to the gym memberships, and a lot of people are like, man, I'm gonna lose this amount of weight, this year. But then once that new year feeling kind of fades away within the month, right, the first month, you kind of get the sense of like, oh well, I haven't lost that much weight, like, or not at all, because you don't really do any research about the gym diets, losing weight. You just think, I'll buy a membership, I'll go do whatever, and that's gonna help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then later on it just, they can't follow through with it because they're disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
with themselves and their goals and their progress. So I think that's like a main like issue that people have when it comes to New Year's resolutions. It's not that their goals are bad. It's not that. I feel like it's just that their goals are all in one, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, rather than like smaller, like stepping stones.
Mm-hmm. It's just
Um,
not thought out enough. It's not planned out enough. It's just this more of an idea than an actual plan, right? It's you're talking
mhm.
about like the excitement of it and the being too ambitious and not realistic and not really seeing the smaller milestones that's gonna ultimately get you to the end point that you love the idea of. So yeah, no, that's very very good point to point out. In terms of goals, in terms of New Year's resolutions, in terms of the gym, since we're talking about that, I actually do have one that's very related to that. And it's something that I haven't worked on as much of in recent years, I would say. And and that is cardio. So my New Year's resolution is I want to have the best, cardio, I guess, I've ever had. I would say the best card I've ever had was probably all the way back to grade 9 or grade 10. I think, yeah, it must have been then. Even though I've always had pretty good cardio in gym class, I was always one of the best. I would do the beep test twice in a row just because. Why not? Because
No.
you have the whole class to do it, right? So they split it in two waves. So I would do it, and then I would finish with one of the best scores, and then I would go again with the other group,
Oh my
warm up with them,
god.
and do the beep test with them again, and finish once again. I'm on the top. So my cardio was always good. The same with like long distance running, same with playing rugby, same with. Just playing sports with friends on the weekend. I would, play soccer, play basketball, and I would just keep going. And other people would get tired, and sometimes I would get tired too. But I was always able to keep playing. Like it wasn't. So my cardio was always good, right? Even back when I was doing taekwondo, very early on, my cardio has always been good. But uh, since somewhere between grade 9 and somewhere in grade 10, I would say that's where my peak was. It's just been kind of falling off. It has still pretty good, but want to get back to that level and realistically, I think I can actually go past that level. I think that is, completely manageable. Something that
Mm-hmm.
if I worked on, I could definitely do. I believe that for sure. And some of the stuff I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually gonna do for that is that I've gone. Well, I haven't actually gone yet, but I purchased a Assault Air bike, and I've also purchased a Wavemaster. So
Wait, what's a Wave Master?
so I'll explain what both of these are. And so the Assault Air
Okay.
bike is a cardio equipment. It's a bike, but compared to other workout bikes, it's a fan bike, right? So it uses the air. So the harder you want to work, you you the harder you work, the harder it is. Right, so you get to control the difficulty just by the amount of effort you put in, and it's great for um, cardio, right? Just because you have so much control over it.
Mm-hmm.
And for any level, from beginners all the way to pro athletes, it's always going to be a great workout. And compared to stuff like running and other stuff, it's definitely more effective and a lot less impact, a lot less pressure on your joints, on your tendons.
Mm-hmm.
And that aspect is much more safe and less likely for you to get injured. So it's great in so many aspects. And the Wavemaster, like you were asking, is basically a punching bag that's standing up, right? So it's got a base that you fill with either sand or water. So in
Mm-hmm.
martial arts, that's a thing that you usually use. It's great for practicing kicks and all kinds of just striking. And if anyone has done any type of martial arts, they'll know that if you just go, even just a few minutes per round and do a few rounds on the bags, you're dead. Oh yeah, it could be
Mm-hmm.
really intense. And that's why in UFC, each round is only 5 minutes and the normal fight is only 3 rounds. Even championship fights are only 5 rounds, right? So if you actually do a workout by yourself on the bag and you're going hard the entire time at high pace, high intensity, a few minutes per round for a few rounds, incredible cardio workout as well. And it's
Mm-hmm.
very fun for me and something that I've wanted, equipment I wanted to have at my disposal regularly, as opposed to back when I was doing Taekwondo and had it only at the training place. Or back in first year where we had it at the gym downstairs, right? So having one at home is gonna be great. So these two are gonna be uh, two very effective and very enjoyable ways for me to work on my cardio, and that's I think gonna help me a lot compared to just running and whatnot for improving my cardio to the point that I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, those are two very good, like especially the Wave Master. Uh, I think that's gonna kill you, man.
Mm-hmm.
hmm Yeah, because I think um I forgot when a few years ago I got a no back in high school I got a punching bag.
Mm,
Um,
nice.
so I was doing like a little bit of boxing back then, and then I didn't really go all into it until like one summer
Mm-hmm.
where it kind of became more of like a daily habit because I knew like my cardio's always been like really bad.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like it's rough, man. So every time I go to the gym, like I stick to the weights rather
Mm-hmm.
than like warming up and cardio and stuff. Although it's good too. Um, but yeah, no, like it's always been like pretty bad. Um, so I started using the punching bag as like a way of cardio rather than running and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like it's also just more convenient, right? Like it's there, like anytime you're bored too, like end of the day, even after you've done it, you could just go back and you're like, you know what, like I'll do a few more rounds, right?
Yeah.
So it's always a nice addition to the house. Um, yeah, man. Like and also like comparing like to back in like your peak in high school, right? Like back then you weren't specifically training for cardio as
No.
compared to like
Mm-hmm.
now. So I think it's very reasonable. You're like you can go, like I guess like yeah, you could go like beyond your peak, right?
Mhm.
Um so yeah, man. Yeah. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, keep you updated. It's gonna be, a long project. Cardio is something that takes quite a while to really improve, right? Um,
Mhm.
and also the thing with like the wave master with punching bag, it's also a skill, right? Compared to
Mhm.
other, I guess, uh, workouts, right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
technique involved because it's martial arts, and
Mhm.
so it's great for cardio. But if you want to be training properly, you also get the benefits improving your technique and all of those things. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I have other, I guess, physical um, New Year's resolution. Yeah, so a physical aspect of it, and that is something I've been worked on. I have been working on for a while, and something I talk about kind of regularly, almost on the podcast. And so it is a New Year's resolution, but it's also more of a continuous goal. I feel like just kind of a mindset switch, a specific. There's more of a specific point I want to get to. So this New Year's resolution is basketball based. It's shooting specific, and really the way that I wanna be at is the point I want to get to is I want to become an actual shooting threat in basketball, right? So just within the mid range and just open threes, all of these, I should be making those shots quite consistently, because
Mhm.
I think because the thing is, I really enjoy playing basketball, and I could definitely see myself meeting up with people for basketball. We're dropping into community pickup games even 20 plus years from now. I've seen, people do that. I've actually played with some older people, just because you show up to park, you show up to wherever, and people play basketball. Then there are some older people too, and I could see myself being one of them when I get to that age. And for me to really be good, and especially if I want to have it as a hobby in the long term, something that's going to open up my game is something that's going to allow me to play for a long time without really damaging myself is being able to shoot, right? I can drive, I
Mhm.
can kick out the ball to an open player, I could finish myself once I get to the spot, but by opening up this new aspect to be a much better shooter, to actually be a shooting threat. So people actually have to, really cover me when I get the ball when I'm further out. That's gonna allow me to much easier easily get by people, right? It's
Mhm.
gonna offer the teammates a lot more space. And it's gonna allow me to not work so hard all the time, which is gonna be really beneficial as I get older, because you don't want to be driving into a bunch of bodies the entire time, especially as a smaller player like me, right? So that's gonna be very useful in that sense. So in terms of my hobby, this in terms of my hobbies, in terms of other physical aspect, this is definitely a New Year's resolution, and uh, I just really enjoy improving it so far. So definitely looking forward to continuing to work on it. And I could tell you one thing for sure, that since I've been back home recently, I've actually got the hoop with a nice backboard, a nice rim, and the actual net out in the driveway. It's been much easier to make shots just because it's been much easier to visualize. It's been much easier to actually rely on the backboard. So when you're shooting at angle, I do like bank shots. So yeah, just grateful working on that. So yeah, having the equipment to work on is also what's making it more realistic.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's good, man. Like especially for activities or like just hobbies you see yourself doing in like the next like 20, 30 years, like it's good to start now, right? Sooner than later.
Mhm.
And it's good that you're trying to improve now so you do have the experience for later. Um, yeah, and I think basketball is one of those sports that's just generally very like it's fun,
Hmm.
like competitively and like in friendly games, right?
Hmm. For sure.
Um, yeah, man. I yeah, I was never really good at basketball. I was pretty bad. Um, but I think first year I was in intramurals with like a
Mm.
bunch of my boys,
Yeah.
and we picked basketball. It was pretty fun. Yeah. And especially seeing other teams who know like who knows really how to play
Yeah.
basketball. It's pretty neat to see and like watch, like really good players play. Um, yeah, man. Honestly, like I feel like in relation to that, I feel like that's kind of like it's kind of the gym and lifting for me.
Mm.
Um, because I could see myself weightlifting until like I don't know, maybe like 50, 60 or something.
Hmm.
Hopefully. uh, but yeah, I think exercise is one of those things that's very good and it's very beneficial outside of the sport too, right? Health wise and longevity.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah,
Yeah.
gotta start 'em young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And like you're saying, like it's also really helpful because you could see your progression. You could see putting your work over time, and you're going to get these results. So it teaches you this discipline and dedication, and it gives you confidence in your capability of improving in various things you want to work on. You've done it once with
Hmm.
one thing. It basically tells you, hey, why not? Why can't I do this other thing as well? So yeah, there's just a lot of benefits to really just sticking to something physical like that and working on it over time, especially when you really enjoy it, because there are all these other benefits that come with it.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like, especially for New Year's resolution, like they like let's say they want to do like they're like oh like I want to do I want to play like a certain sport, right? So, like let's say soccer, basketball, anything. A lot of times like they might make those resolutions because their friends play soccer, because their friends play basketball and they want to do it, right? But at the same time, like I kind of hope people realize like a New Year's resolution, it's a personal goal, right? Like unless you really want to actually learn a certain skill, develop certain techniques and stuff like that, like put put that fresh motivation, that New Year's motivation into something you're passionate about, right? You
Hmm.
see yourself doing and something that you really want. Um, and and not really put that effort and energy into like others, right? Or where others affect it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's definitely very true what you're saying. And just a thing I want to point out, like my first two New Year's resolution are both physical kind of based, right? Athletics based. Um,
Hmm.
and they're actually quite related in the sense of that having a really good cardio, something that I want to do. Like I didn't really explain the reason behind why I wanted to do that, but for playing sports and whatnot, for health, it's just so great to have a great cardio. It just makes life so much easier when you're not gassing
Hmm.
out, trying to just, just to enjoy what you're doing. Um, like playing basketball, if you want to actually go hard, especially when you're playing full court and you want to be running the floor, which, with my play style, oftentimes I do enjoy doing, including chasing people down on defense. I enjoy playing defense. Having good cardio is going to allow me to just go up and down the court, no problem, consistently, just fast break opportunities, chasing down people on defense. Hopefully you don't need to do that, but why go play in the rec, playing against some people who really know how to play basketball. Some people like playing really quick and they almost cherry pick. So you basically have to chase them down And
Mm.
when you play in the rec, some people, they don't really like to do that. They don't necessarily want to put in the effort, work. They might not be in good enough of a shape to do that. Whereas, if I do it, and with better cardio, I could do it even better and more consistently. And I
Hmm.
also enjoy playing soccer. Don't get as much opportunity to do that recently, but it's definitely something I will be doing. And having good cardio is going to allow you to just stay on the pitch and really, really cover more ground and just not be afraid to make these runs. And all of that all of that ties in with each other. Better cardio is going to be better for the sports, and obviously with activity in general, just better cardiovascular health and that aspect for sure.
Yeah, it's like a universal goal,
Hmm.
like it kind of branches out to a lot of other things um, that you can benefit from it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like soccer, especially in North America, is pretty hard to come by. Like unless you're in like clubs or like teams and stuff, because it's not like too popular here compared to like other countries where it is very
Hmm.
popular. Um,
Well, basically, almost everywhere else, yeah.
yeah.
Like even in North America, you have Mexico, which is probably has probably the strongest league outside of the top European leagues. Um, and then you talk about like Europe, you talk about Asia, you talk about Africa, South America, all these places, they love that sport. It's the global sport. It is the biggest sport in the world. And in North America, in Canada as well, definitely a sport that is growing. And
Hmm.
we finally got Lorenzo to join. Awesome. Yeah. That's all good. Well, I'm just going to continue to talk about what we were discussing. And yeah, so Canada now has a pro league. It has had a pro league for like a few years now. And we've the past year, the Canadian soccer team, I guess both men and women, but the men's league, I obviously follow a lot more. They're one of the best performing league of the 2021. They did fantastic. Uh, I think we are gonna qualify for the World Cup that's coming up in then the end of 2022, the winter time. And
Damn.
obviously, we're going to be one of the three countries hosting the 2026 World Cup. And we have two world class players. One of them, Alfonso Davies, was literally the best left back a couple years ago, maybe this year as well. But that's based on like UEFA and whatnot. But according to some people, he is like the best still. He War became the best. It's very subjective, but he's definitely amongst the best, and he is our age. In fact, he's a few months younger than me. And the other guy, Jonathan David, plays for Lille in France, and they beat PSG to the league title last year. He
Hmm.
played a major role. He does incredible stuff for Team Canada as well, and he is also basically our age, maybe a few months older, but right around the same age. So we have two very young guys who are both basically world class level players that's leading the team and really inspiring a lot of youth in Canada. And obviously, with this league developing in Canada and just becoming a higher level and more popularity, more success, that's all going to help. It's just such a global sport. And yeah, I
Hmm.
definitely would like more opportunity to play. Maybe even later on during my break or the time I'm back, since I won't go back to Ontario until the end of January, maybe even later, depending on what happens with the school's decisions. Yeah.
True. Like what's your school saying about it?
So
It still ends on the 10th, right? Technically. Or did they push
so
it
they
back?
pushed it back to 10th for us. It was originally third. Some schools started on the 10th anyways, But we're also moving stuff online until January 31st as of right
Mm-hmm.
now. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Queens decided that they're not going back in person until after the reading break, which is like the end of February. So if one school out east is doing that, it's entirely possible other one does, especially because, as you were talking about in the beginning, the cases keep going up and up. So yeah,
Mm.
you never really know what ends up happening. But yeah, I'm staying here out west until at least the end of January.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Lorenzo, Raymond doesn't really have any New Year's resolution. I've talked about two on mine. One of them being to have the best cardio I've ever had, and the other one being to really become a shooting threat in basketball, which is more of a continuous goal. But in terms of this year, I really want to continue to improve that and really become a shooting threat as opposed to just be able to shoot. So I have other one I definitely want to talk about, and the other idea I have that isn't necessarily a New Year's resolution. But I'm wondering, since we finally got you to join, do you
Yes,
have any
sir.
New Year's resolutions?
I haven't thought about them too much, but I guess one that comes to mind super easily is just making progress on my one arm pull up. I'm not gonna say I want to get it within 1 year. I think I reasonably could, but I think it's a tricky skill. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the easiest one that comes to mind. Other ones, I usually don't think about that sort of stuff too much. I haven't made resolutions before too much,
Mm.
but who knows? Might be a good year to start.
Yep. Anything academically?
Academically, no, not really.
Anything personally outside of physically and athletically?
Off the top of my head, no, I haven't thought about that stuff. Not really.
Yeah. So you also don't really do New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
No.
I would say normally I don't really do New Year's resolutions either. Definitely just kind of have goals and some short term, some long term, and just base stuff off of that. But with New Year's, it's just I guess, a fresh start. So just when you already do it regularly, it's nice to have other reason to think about it and see if there's any changes you want to make. Because some of these things I was going to do at some point anyways, and then just kind of pick a start time on when you really want to work on them. And New Year's resolution, and not a bad place to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, one arm pull up, that's a very difficult thing to do, and it's impressive if you're able to pull that off. Good luck to you on working on that. Yeah. Well, I do have other New Year's resolution, something that I definitely want to put more effort in, that I think I am able to actually put more time towards, and that is to really improve Portuguese. I think that is something that I had an idea of doing for quite a while now. For some people who don't know, I was planning on going to Portugal with Lorenzo summer of 2020 for a couple of weeks. Yeah. And I've also actually decided that I want to kind of, how should I phrase this? I want to, yeah, because the thing is, I kind of like how I was talking to you, Lorenzo, and Daniel, for those people who saw his guest appearance. I had dinner with them when I first got back downtown. I was talking about how I would want to live in Portugal long term. And yeah, that's something I want to do. But the way I want to phrase that is, because the thing is, you could just literally just buy a ticket and fly there and just try to figure a way, right? But and there's other points in your life where you could move there. But like, I would like to get to a point where I could comfortably move there smoothly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of different.
Just settle down, you know?
Yeah, it's just kind of kind of different way of moving to a place. But yeah, I would like to basically live there in the long term at some point, and we'll see when I would get to that point. But yeah, nice, very nice. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh no.
yeah.
It's it's hot Cheetos.
Unbelievable.
Oh man.
This guy got to fix his sleep schedule,
Honestly.
honestly. But yeah, what would like to get to at least a conversational level in Portuguese within the year. Definitely going to have a lot of time to work on that this summer. And next semester shouldn't be that busy. So I should have some time, just a little bit of time each week, potentially every day, to work on it. So this is a very different aspect compared to my first two New Year's resolution. It is also a skill. It is also something that you could very easily see progression, feel progression with. And I'm looking forward to doing that. But I was just telling Raymond about how we got to fix your sleep schedule.
We do. We usually
We
do.
should
No,
gotta do another episode on sleep. Yo, tune in next episode.
It's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. Every day until like
Man.
5, 6 in the morning every day.
Oh my
unbelievable.
god. Oh
He
no.
he sleeps after I get up.
God damn. Oh my god.
Yeah, we had a meal together recently. I was having my dinner. He was having his lunch. That was really good. I did not realize their lamb was that good. I gotta get the lamb again next time I go there. Yeah.
I see.
hmm Mexican food, by the way.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
damn. That
Yeah.
sounds good. Mexican style ham or fuck lamb.
Yeah. Ham. Well, it's
Close
Mexican style
enough.
ham.
Yeah. Oh man.
Doesn't sound too familiar to me.
Mhm.
Mexican style ham.
Bro.
Yeah.
Not sure. I'm sure that's a thing. Sounds like it would be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
But there's one last thing I want to bring up. I wouldn't say this is the actual goal. I wouldn't say this is my New Year's resolution, but it is an idea that I have, and it is something I would spend time working on if I had, more time and I guess inspiration to do this, which may or may not happen because people are busy, people have other stuff to do. And I already said some of the stuff I'm going to be working on. So this is more of a background thing. But I would like to improve guitar. I would like to, just get better at it. Because I'm able to play chords. I could learn licks either just by reading tabs or actually following tutorials. But I would really like to be able to play with more freedom, and that really involves with improving my listening skills when it comes to music and especially guitar. It comes from knowing the guitar really well in terms of the fretboard, in terms of using the caged system, which is something I really got to I understand how it works, but I just haven't really been working on it. And then just knowing different scales. So this definitely could be doable. This could take, less time on a weekly basis, because in terms of a whole year, even just spending some time on this somewhat regularly, you could do it. So hopefully I'll get time to work on that. Raymond looked very excited. I don't know what happened.
Bro, they talked. They talked. I didn't pick up.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Who you missed call from?
I've been holding for an hour, bro.
Where? I mean, okay, if you've been put on hold for an hour, man. I'm sure that happens a lot.
Oh, that seems very devastating.
No, they're closed now. Oh my god, no! Today's, bro.
Wait, did you call? What were you on hold for? You look so
Oh
sad.
wait, oh my god. All right, they're closed. Fuck. No, because it closed like 40 minutes ago. but then I called before then,
Yeah.
so no.
Oh.
Was it just a message telling you that they were closed, or did someone actually just?
No, yeah, no. Someone said something. They're like, I said something. I thought it was just a message of like, oh, please wait. You know, you're on hold. Fuck. All right.
That's pretty rip.
Yeah.
It's major rip. Yeah.
No, sir. But that's okay. We'll try again tomorrow.
Are they
It's New
open
Year's
tomorrow?
Oh my god, no. No. What have I done? Well, we'll try next time. We'll see. Alright.
Yeah, it's like what isn't? We'll get him next time. What is that from?
Oh my god. Oh no, it's no, yeah, God game.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's a good meme. It's a good meme. Yeah,
God
pretty
damn.
ripped. But yeah, those
Yeah.
are my New Year's resolutions. Yeah, one of them is a continuous goal. The other one is something that I feel like I really need to work on. And other ones I've had quite a while, been kind of passively working on, but now I'm gonna have more time, so I could actually really actively work on it. And the last one is something I would like to improve. And if I have this time over the course of a year, hopefully I could really improve and get to at least some progress in that area. And yeah, those are all the things I really wanted to talk about. Any
Alright.
final thoughts from you guys?
Nah, just disappointment.
Well, let's instead of the disappointments, let's talk about the highlights of your week.
Thank
No.
my highlight of the week make it onto the podcast, yes sir. Other than obviously Christmas and the holidays. Christmas and the holidays are great.
Nice.
But yeah, no, highlight of the week making it onto the podcast for sure. Oh, actually, no,
Alright.
never mind. I just remembered I watched Spider-Man No Way Home. That's so good. Yo,
That
so
was
Bro,
good.
how
really
was
great.
it?
That was really
Fuck.
good.
Man, damn. Okay, I gotta watch
You gotta
that.
watch
Dude.
it. You gotta
Mhm.
watch it.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers. Zero spoilers.
Yeah. No,
Thanos is Spider-Man.
no, not Thanos. No.
Yeah, Thanos is Spider-Man all along.
No, bro.
That's
Man,
Infinity.
I knew it. Bro.
But yeah, really great. Like, there's a reason why it broke so many records, box office and all that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Mhm.
It's absolutely insane. I never thought I'd see anything like that on the screen at all. That was
Yeah,
Damn.
that was actually pretty mind blowing.
Okay, how long was the movie? Like 3 hours?
Not quite. Maybe 2.5.
Damn. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see.
I watched
But,
that right before I left London.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All packed, eh?
Yeah, I saw in the afternoon on a Monday, and it was still packed. So, like, if you're gonna be packed at that
Damn.
time, but now it's been like a whole while, so maybe it won't be as packed, especially if you're not going on like Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty chill.
Mhm.
It wasn't too packed when I went
Um,
here in BC, just because I think of the restrictions.
Mhm.
I think they
mhm.
changed how they sell tickets here or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too packed. But
So because they literally couldn't pack it anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so funny, man. I was at the movie theater, and I got there earlier with one of my friends, Jordan, and it's like, hey, we don't have anything to do. Might as well go to the little arcade section, right? And you know how you have to get tokens or whatever to play with them, right? Well, you know what, fuck it, dude. We got $5. Why not? Let's just do it. Play a couple games or whatever. We go up to the machine, you know, put in $5, all crinkled up, spit it right back out. All up with it.
So they rejected you.
Um, so yes, the machine rejected me, right? We charged $10, bro. Crinkled up, spits it out. Man, this machine is whack. Can't even get tokens to play these games, right? I'll fucking it. I'll put in $20. Why not? Put in $20. Boom! Coins start falling out that bitch all over the place. Kind of didn't want to get $20 worth of tokens.
What are you doing?
I can confirm the little Keymaster game is rigged. 100%. 100% that's whack. That is.
I think you've been scammed.
I got scammed. The basketball hoop game, very fun though. Very fun. No prizes, but very fun. Worth it.
Nice. What about you, Rain? What's your highlight?
Just Christmas, and just been chilling. Not much. Cousin is still here. I think she's staying till the 12th now.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. And another big highlight, Lorenzo finally made it onto an episode podcast.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
But yeah, no. Other than that, it's just been chilling, man.
Are
What about
you going back to school on the 10th? Or like, what's happening with that?
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I might want to go on the 10th, but I'm not sure.
Are you guys
exactly
starting off online, or is it gonna be straight up in person?
Yeah, it's still gonna be online. I think it's gonna be online till the end of January.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't know,
Go
go
back.
back.
Yeah, no, makes
And
sense.
see what's up.
Makes sense.
But we'll see.
Yeah, because you're renting a place anyways, and you have school, and sometimes it's nice, not being at home. I totally get that. Highlight for me. Let me think. Well, like I was saying towards the beginning, that purchasing those equipments, I'm still waiting for them to get here, but that's a big highlight for sure. Really looking forward to getting those and really using them. Other highlight I would say is watching the Bayern Munich Behind the Legend documentary on Amazon Prime. Really, really great documentary. Bayern obviously is my favorite team, and they've had a historical season recently. The last couple seasons have both been pretty legendary for their own reasons. But the season where they actually won the Champions League, they talk about that. They talk about the whole process and really get your behind the scenes look in the locker room, in the film room, and all of those behind the scenes aspect of running a football team, coaching a football team, and being a part of a football team. And then they also talk about all the way up to beginning of the season where they hire a new coach, a guy who's younger than some of the players, a guy who's been coaching top tier German football since his basically mid-20s. So he's been in the game for a while, had a lot of success, and now coaching one of the biggest clubs in the world, and in his 30s. Yeah, pretty cool to see all of that, and pretty cool to see how the team was feeling about Lewandowski's incredible goal scoring seasons and him breaking Gerd Muller's goal scoring record in the Bundesliga right after he died recently. So this whole documentary is also kind of a tribute to him, which is a nice gesture because he is a club legend. He is a football legend. He is one of the greatest strikers in history. Well, it's hard to say now. It's hard to give people different labels just because he played so long ago, and there's so many great players, and everything's kind of relative and subjective. So I'm not gonna make the statement I was about to make, but he's an all-time great. That is for sure. Yeah, I would highly recommend that documentary to anyone who's interested in the sport of soccer/football, to people who are fans of the team, obviously, and people who are into the behind the scenes look of how these teams are run. There's actually quite a few series like that. Amazon, I think Netflix as well, but I don't have Netflix anymore. But Amazon Prime has quite a few documentaries like that about these teams. One with Toronto Maple Leafs that I may or may not watch later. But there's one, the New Zealand All Blacks, the rugby team, the best rugby team in the world. Always the best team in the world in terms of rugby. And that is one I will definitely watch. That I think that'll be interesting. And there are these documentary on other football teams as well. The football teams are kind of the most common, the ones they like to make in terms of this style documentary. Yeah, definitely really a big highlight watching that just because it was so good. I think that's all I have to say.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Well, it's really nice having you two join us, Lorenzo. Even if it's in the middle of the show.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
Last 24 minutes. Yes, sir. We got it.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll be back again next week, and we'll be continuing to do this podcast in the new year as well. Hopefully this is a good start to the new year, and hopefully you guys enjoyed, I guess, just my New Year's resolutions, since this guy didn't really have any. Yeah, cool. All right.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year's.